Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Let's Play Plants vs. Zombies. In the last video, we started off the game and decided to just clear out the whole first world in one video there. And now we start on with the second world, and you might have noticed at the end of the last one we got a new plant, like a kind of mushroom looking thing, that didn't seem to cost any sun. Well yeah, now it's nighttime here in the yard. And yeah, now that it's nighttime, we won't get sun falling from the sky. But we can still get sun from sunflowers themselves, which will be nice. And that mushroom we got here is the puffshroom, which shoots short-range spores at the enemy. And this, honestly, is probably the most overpowered plant in the entire game, specifically because it costs 0 sun. It's pretty much a pea shooter that doesn't shoot all the way down a lane. It'll only shoot like maybe 3 or 4 squares ahead of it, but that's still way strong to have for a plant that costs no sun whatsoever. So honestly, I could pick just puffshrooms and probably just be fine for the whole level. That said, though, we do have to pick other stuff, so I'll go and pick sunflower, obviously puffshrooms we want. I'll take potato mines, cherry bombs, and I guess snow peas and repeaters. You might notice also there's these graves that appear here at night, and these will basically spawn zombies from these graves, not necessarily from the edge of the screen there. I wouldn't worry too much about it, though. Zombies will only spawn out of here during big waves. They won't regularly come out of here throughout the level. But another thing about these puffshrooms is you can see they recharge really quickly. And I guess, I don't know. I get the need to have a zero-cost plant that recharges quickly for a nighttime level. Okay, it looks like it's 3 squares. You see, once the zombie got into this third, this column here is when this puffshroom started firing. I'm gonna put another one there. Yeah, now you can see that the zombies will now start to drop money, so we'll have another collectible to look out for. But, I don't know. I feel like they could have had this puffshroom recharge more slowly, and the game probably would have been fine. As it stands on these night levels, like, these puffshrooms just break the night levels wide open. They're so obscenely powerful. Because as you can tell, I mean, my sunflowers haven't even done anything besides just give me more sunflowers up to this point. And yet here I am with 2 columns of puffshrooms already. In fact, I've watched people do no sunflower challenges of the game, which that is possible. It is possible to beat the main story of this game without using any sunflowers whatsoever. Except for, obviously, that one they make you plant in the tutorial there. But, yeah. In these no sunflower challenges, it seems like the night levels are always the easiest just because of puffshrooms. Okay, here we have a new kind of zombie here. This is a newspaper zombie. Basically, he's kind of the opposite. You know what? I'm gonna put a potato mine here. I don't know that, you know what, that's, Basically, what the newspaper zombies do is, yeah, they'll have the newspaper as kind of a shield, and then once it's gone, they'll get mad, and then, yeah, they'll start charging towards you. At the very least, that mine at least made a decent shield while, he was charging at the puffshrooms there. But yeah, as you can see, if you've got like 3 or 4 puffshrooms, that should be enough to take them out. But yeah, I never finished my statement, did I? They're the opposite of javelin zombies in that they start out moving slow, then they lose their item, and then they start moving quickly. Honestly, so here's the thing that makes graves more of a pain than zombies coming out of them, even, is the fact that they'll take up spots on your map here. So I can't plant anything here because the grave is there. So as a result, this lane right here is going to be a little bit less fortified than the other ones, but it's not that big of a deal. As you can see, I've just got 1,000 sun stocked up here, and I don't really feel a need to spend any of it at this point. These mushrooms are just taking it out by themselves. Like I said, these sunflowers didn't do anything besides plant more sunflowers. I could have solely used the puff shrooms on this level and gotten through just fine. Yeah, you can see the zombies coming out of the graves there. Okay, here, I think I will use a repeater. Although he's going to get eaten right away. Oh, no, he got in there. Yeah, you definitely want to watch out for that money. I always seem to miss it. But you definitely want to get as much as you can. And here we got a sun shroom, which is, well, as you can guess, the mushroom version of a sunflower. So when you first plant it, so you might think like 25 sun, why wouldn't I always just use this over a sunflower? Well, when you first plant it, it'll start by giving you small sun, which will give you 15 sun instead of 25. Then later it'll grow up, and then it'll start to give you regular 25 sun. I like sun shrooms a lot. I think they're pretty powerful, just because you don't need that much sun early on. And I'm just going to take these again. And they're so much cheaper than sunflowers. That more than makes up for the difference of how much sun you get from them. Yeah, you can see it gives you little sun, that'll give you 15. Which can be a little awkward sometimes because everything costs intervals of 25, but again, not that big of a deal. Yeah, with puff shrooms, it's especially important to kind of be watching the recharge meter and be quick on the trigger with that, so you can get as many of these out as you possibly can. One thing that does kind of bother me is like when the sun shrooms are in their small form, they'll all be off-centered from the lane in different ways, so you can see they don't all line up. Which, I mean, isn't a big deal. It just kind of bugs me a little bit. Once they all grow up, I mean, then they all end up in the same positions that a sunflower would anyway. Once again, I'm going to be planting 2 lanes of them, or 2 columns, rather, of sunflowers, or sun shrooms in this case, rather. Even though, again, it's not necessary by any means. It's still just nice to have. You might have heard that little record scratch sound. That's if you try to pick a plant that's not ready yet. Okay. I think what I might start doing at this point is replacing this back row of puff shrooms with snow peas. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's what it looks like when the puff shrooms, or the sun shrooms grow up. You don't have to do anything yourself. You don't have to, like, click on anything or, like, tend to them in any way. They'll just grow up automatically after a certain amount of time. And yeah, now you can see they're producing regular 25 sun. Go and replace this one with a snow pea. I guess I could have done it to one of these, but it's not that big of a deal either way. I guess that's another strategy you could do, is just like gradually then replace all your shrooms with like repeaters and stuff. Which, I mean, definitely isn't a bad idea by any means, but it's also a little bit unnecessary just because, like, the puff shrooms by themselves will already do more than enough. The snow peas I'll make an exception for just because it's nice to have the freeze effect. Yeah, I for the longest time, I seriously undervalued these snow peas by a lot. I always thought of them as kind of useless because I thought, like, well, my whole mindset for the longest time was, like, it's 170, it's 75 more sun for the same damage as a regular pea shooter. Why would I want that? And then it's like, well, I was basically just underestimating the freeze effect. I guess why not? I don't have anything else to do. I might as well start putting in repeaters here. And yeah, you can see all of our sun shrooms already grown up. It doesn't really take that long for them. Yeah, looking at my time right now, it's looking like this. We'll have to start doing 5 levels per video instead of 10. Because we're already at, like, what, 10 minutes now? Yeah, that first video did end up being a little bit longer than I would have liked it to be, but it's really not that big of a deal. Lord knows I've done plenty of 45-minute videos in the past. Which I guess if you feel a certain way about that, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. If you prefer longer, like 40... 45, maybe even hour-long videos, or if you like the 20 to 30-minute format a little bit better. I try to keep it to 20 to 30 minutes. I think that works a little bit better for most LPs. Stardew Valley, obviously, early on was an exception where I had a lot to show and I wanted to do 2 days per video, so I was doing like 40 or even 50-minute videos. Hell, the first part of Stardew Valley, well, because I did 3 days instead of 2, was an hour long. Hearthstone videos, I'm totally fine with being like an hour plus, because that's just like the nature of that game. Although, I don't know, I haven't had much of a hankering to play Hearthstone lately. I don't know, ever since the whole like Hong Kong thing, it just feels... Well, I saw a post on the Hearthstone subreddit that, like, kind of perfectly described it. Just, like, I don't know. It feels dirty to play Hearthstone now. Especially with that, you know, total, yeah, I'll say it. Total bullshit apology that, Blizzard put out. For those of you who didn't get that update, and I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't, because Lord knows I didn't for, like, a week and a half or so. But, basically, Hearthstone reeled back on their decision. They gave the guy their prize money back, and they shortened the ban time for the player and the casters to 6 months. But it's all still, I don't know, it's all still bullshit anyway, to be frank. Well, and it's funny, too, because in their statement, and they didn't use the words, like, sorry, apologize, inconvenience, wrong. Like, they basically at no point admitted it was a fault of theirs. And they posted the PR notice on Friday evening, which, as some of you may or may not know, Friday evening is pretty much a time where news goes to die, because it's right before the weekend, and people aren't likely to pay much attention until Monday. So just, yeah, kind of a scummy move. Not even kind of, just definitely a scummy move on their part. But, okay, so the next plant that we got here is a fume shroom. Fume shrooms cost 75 sun. They're like regular puff shrooms in that they only shoot out so far ahead of them. But their shots can actually pass through screen doors, which you see we have screen door zombies right here. I don't know if they do any more damage than a regular puff shroom, or if their only use is that they can pass through the screen doors. I don't know. I don't normally use puff shrooms that much, like even on levels with screen doors, because screen door is basically just another kind of shield, like a cone or a bucket. You can chip away at it with regular damage anyway, so...
The zombies are coming.
Oh, what am I doing? I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that there's a zombie down here. Yeah, I don't know. Just still thinking about that whole Hearthstone thing. I don't know. Doom's the Tomb. Doom in the Tomb? No. Tomb of Horrors, that's what it's called. I might still do the hard mode version of that, but like I said, I just haven't been in much of a mood to play Hearthstone lately. I mean, this happens to me a lot anyway, even without any kind of like controversy on Blizzard's end. Like my interest in Hearthstone just goes in waves, you know? Like when a new set or like adventure comes out, I'm like super into it and I'm all about it, but honestly, after a while it just dies down for me until the next one rolls out. Well, don't even get me started about ladder. I haven't had any desire to do ladder in like weeks. Just because of that stupid thing where they brought back wild cards. I knew that was going to be a bad idea from the start. As soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, that sounds really stupid, and I would really just like to play standard without having to worry about that, but... And I'm definitely not alone in that camp. I was reading the latest Versus data report, and the number of games that are played in that report is, like, astonishingly low. I actually saw a Reddit comment on the competitive Hearthstone subreddit that was saying that we're on data report number 146, I believe. And these are the lowest numbers of a data report since the, like, 4th data report back in 2016. Which you would hope of a successful game that, you know, it only gets better and better, and in that way, more and more popular, and in that way, more and more games are played, but it's not looking to be the case with Hearthstone. Looking at sheer number of games played on ladder, Hearthstone's at an all-time low right now. I don't know. It's all kind of a shame, really. I really do like Hearthstone as a game, but so many bad decisions behind it. I'm still very much eagerly awaiting my, Also, I should know, I do really like the sound the mushrooms make. I'm very much still eagerly awaiting my Legends of Runeterra closed beta invite. Still haven't gotten that yet. I applied for it like a couple of weeks ago now. Cause I don't know, I've put up my Shadowverse video by now, and I actually have another recorded that I don't know if I'm gonna put up because it's like over an hour long, and I wasn't really that into it, and I didn't even do that well. But, I don't know, Shadowverse, in the end, I don't know that I'm really super into it. It's not a bad game, don't get me wrong. It's just not... Whoa. Guys are breaking through down here, I didn't even notice, because I was going on about games. Also missing money, because I'm going on about games. We can just cherry bomb these guys to see the level. Ooh, here we got a plant I actually really like. This is the Grave Eater? Grave Buster, that's right. And yeah, you can actually use this plant to remove graves. Yes. Okay, so yeah, now we can actually have 7 seed slots instead of just 8. Or, I mean, instead of just 6. You know what I mean. Okay, we got screen door zombies here, so whoops. Oh yeah, I do want the cherry bomb, but I guess I'll take the puff shroom too. Take the Grave Buster and the Snow Pea, and I don't need a potato mine really. I'll take a repeater. Oh, but yeah, I have a Shadowverse video out at this point, but I kind of doubt I'm gonna make any more. I haven't really been playing Shadowverse much at all. Again, it's not a bad game by any means. It just kind of failed to really grab my attention. My long-term attention, anyway. When I first started playing it, I was totally into it, but...
The zombies are coming.
I don't know. It's like I said in some other previous video. I think I was just more like hankering for a non-Hearthstone digital card game to play. I'm still gonna have that hankering to play a card game. But I don't know. God knows Magic is not in any of a better gameplay state right now. Considering Oko, Thief of Crowns is just ruining multiple formats. And as far as IRL Magic goes, I don't really have much in the way of cards, so I can't really do Pioneer without dropping a whole bunch of money into the format, which I don't want to do anyway, because that also require me, you know, going out and playing IRL Magic, which, I don't know. I mean, that in and of itself isn't necessarily a bad thing. I just don't have a vehicle right now, is pretty much the main issue with that. You know, I'm going to go ahead and start using the Grave Buster on these graves. I want to do that as soon as possible to try to clear all these out as quickly as I can. I mean, I guess there's a comic store that's within, it's probably like, what, 45, 50-minute walk, which isn't terrible. I mean, I actually used to walk, how long was that walk when I was a kid? I used to walk from my house to this store called Krypton Comics to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That was probably about a 40-minute walk, maybe half an hour. And God knows I was a lot chunkier back then. Yeah, I guess I've never really talked about this. I used to be a pretty, I'll just say it, I used to be a fat kid. Let me figure out what I want to do with this Javelin Zombie real quick. Snoopy. Oh, that was bad. Okay, that wasn't the worst idea, I guess, but... Wow, that actually worked, holy cow. Yeah, no, I definitely used to be a fat kid back in the day. When I was in high school, I weighed, like... I don't know... 350 pounds? No, it wasn't that much. Was it that much? It was like 320, I think. I might have pushed 350 at like my heaviest, but then I don't know, I got to college and we had a workout facility on campus, so I was like, I might as well make use of it. It wasn't just that, I'll admit it though. Part of it was definitely the fact that I was living on my own for the first time and, you know, pretty much just living off of, like, stereotypical college experience. I was quite literally living off of ramen. Shoot, I didn't have enough sun yet. Oh well. Thought I had enough sun for a Snoopy here. Yeah, I was living the stereotypical college experience, quite literally living off of ramen. Because, like... God, I could go on and on about this, my freshman year of college, how badly I screwed up. I was a lazy piece of shit. Didn't go to any of my classes, didn't get a job, didn't do anything besides smoke pot and play card games. And playing card games was pretty much how I made the, like, very little bit of money that I did. Was just selling cards, pretty much. And it was not, I mean, that sounds kind of cool, right? Like, when you just hear me say that, like, wow, sold cards for a living, so cool. But it was not a living. I'll tell you that right now. It was not a living. I barely eked by, like, very barely eked by, and a lot of the time I don't know how I actually managed to, like, find food to eat. I guess it wouldn't have been as bad if I wasn't also smoking cigarettes at the time. Well, and also pot, but because Lord knows those ate into my finances. I don't know. Not that I think there's anything wrong with smoking pot or cigarettes. Well, I mean, obviously cigarettes, you know, are not very good for you, but you don't need me to tell you that. I'm not gonna be that preachy about it. Don't worry. If you smoke cigarettes, I'm not gonna be all like, cigarette bad, gives cancer, why do? Because God knows I got enough of that when I smoked cigarettes. I hated that. Like, so many people, that was like one of my biggest pet peeves when I smoked, is so many people would be like, don't you know it's bad for you? And it's like, wow, I never ever knew that. Thanks for telling me. That's really, you know what, the one person telling me it's bad is really making me want to stop smoking altogether. It's not like I'm addicted to a chemical substance or anything. But... So, don't worry, you will not hear any lectures from me about it. What was I saying? Oh, I was talking about card games, though. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I've played IRL card games, and Part of me wants to, but like, I don't know. I don't really like playing... I like playing Magic, but I don't really like playing Magic tournaments as much. For a long time I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments, but God knows Yu-Gi-Oh! Is nowhere near the game that it used to be. Not that it was even that great of a game when I played it, but... I do not like Link's format. Lex I am. Okay. Sure. Hey, we actually managed to fill up a whole screen with plants. I was just kind of going on autopilot actually playing there. Okay, and this we get the Almanac, which is completely useless. It's basically your Pokedex of plants and zombies. I'm good, I don't need to view that, but let's go ahead and do the mini game here before we call it a video. Oh, this is Whack-A-Zombie. This one's really This one's really easy. The zombies will just pop up out of the graves here, and just click on them. I also like to use Grave Busters here, just because it gets you a little bit of extra money, on top of also spawning less zombies. But as you can see, new graves will also pop up pretty frequently, so you'll never get them all down in this minigame, like I did in the level there. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about this game, it's just more of this pretty much. I don't know, I guess it's fun enough. Yeah, whenever there's a pause like that, you know another grave's about to pop up. Oh, you also gotta watch out with these grave busters, because it doesn't take them very long to eat through a grave. But be aware that zombies can eat them while they're doing that. Oh yeah, cone heads you gotta hit twice in order to take the cone off. I think bucket heads will spawn eventually too, and you gotta hit them like 3 or 4 times. Grave. No, it's right there, but yeah. And yeah, this game is really not that bad. Like, the zombies will move a little bit faster than they would in normal level, but not enough that you have to worry about it. You do want to watch out on the final wave, though, because a bunch of zombies will appear all at once out of all the graves. But even that's not that bad. Looks like it was 3 hits for the bucket head there. Now, I'm actually going to leave this guy for just a moment, see if I can get... Nah, I won't have time. I was going to try to see if I could get another Grave Buster out to get another coin, but... and with that, we get the Hypno Shroom, which is another absurdly powerful plant. Makes a zombie fight for you. So basically, Hypno Shrooms go down in one bite, but when a zombie bites into it, it'll turn purple and start working the other way. Or walking the other way, and then it'll essentially work for you. It'll eat other zombies in the lane that it's in. So that's really powerful. Not only is it single zombie removal like the, what can I think of it? The potato mine is, but it'll also then go do damage to other zombies in that lane. So that's really, really powerful. But we're going to save using that for next time on Let's Play Plants vs. Zombies. This is Hexlex, signing out. Have a good day.